Lacha, and welcome to Conversations with Miss A. My name is Azwi Marindiri and I'm the host. Today I'm quite excited to be sitting down with the lady that you have probably seen her products at ShopRite, at your Pick and Pay, it's at Take-A-Lot. You have seen her on your screens. You're reading about her in the newspapers. This lady really needs no introduction. Today, I'm talking with the one, the only Miss Tosh. Lufuno, how are you?
Well, thanks.
I'm good. I'm happy to be seated here with you today.
Thanks, Azwi. I'm also honored to be here today.
Listen, maybe just a brief on how you and I actually met. We were at a speaking engagement. You were speaking before I do, and I don't think I've ever really said this, but when you did, and you came out with your authentic self, you told your story, you really gave me freedom to be myself. And from that day I said, listen, I want to give my community, this community, that experience that you gave me when we first met, and you became yourself and actually gave me a right to be. So thank you for accepting the invitation. Thank you for having this conversation with me.
I'm honored. Thanks, Azwi. Thank you for inviting me. And I hope we are able to impact lives.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, I'm going to read your bio. She's the founder and managing director of Tosh Detergents, a pioneering company in the detergent manufacturing industry, a trailblazer and a multi-award winner. Lufuno has significantly impacted the market by introducing quality, effective, and sustainable cleaning materials. Her visionary mindset, coupled with her remarkable interpersonal skills, has earned her a reputation as a charismatic and influential leader, admired by both her colleagues and industry peers. She firmly believes that business success should be accompanied by a strong sense of social responsibility. With her unwavering commitment to excellence, she continues to shape the business landscape and inspire others to reach for greatness. So, Lufuno, one thing that really strikes me about you is your love to impact, your determination to see other people strive and becoming their best version. You are a businesswoman demanded by not just the province, but by South Africa, recognized internationally as well. Why is it that you have such a heart to see women or young people becoming themselves and taking their space in the business industry that you're in?
Wow, Azwi, that was a long question. And it's so much full of passion, you know, of what I do, indeed. I think I believe that I really advocate for impact because I believe that each one of us has been, when we are born with a seed of greatness within.
Yes. Yes.
And what God has placed inside of you is not what He has placed inside of me.
Yeah.
So if you cannot unleash that which God has placed inside of you, that means you rob society. You somehow are withdrawing or withholding from impacting somebody else's life, because I can only impact up to a certain level, but you are able to also impact to another level. So it takes all of us to come together and unleash our unique greatness to impact lives. I think that's why I'm really passionate about it.
And I think that is what I love most about you, and you're absolutely right. When you impact one life, it has got ripple impact, because then that person, like you said, gets to impact other people that they are connected to. So thank you so much for being a gift to young people like myself and a lot of people that you're really inspiring. So like I said in the introduction, right, when I get when I met with you for the first time, I was convinced that we needed to have this sit down because I wanted for my community to benefit from not just what you do, but from your story. So can you please take us through your journey as an entrepreneur? How did it start? Did you always know that you were you?
Okay, I think I'll start like from the beginning.
From the beginning, yes.
Okay, so I was born and bred in Venda,
Yeah.
Makwarera. I went and did my primary education,
Yeah.
moved on to high school. Then after high school, I went to do my tertiary education. And I've always been passionate about engineering.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be a civil engineer.
Yeah.
I left grade 12, did my civil engineering, but unfortunately the reality is that the jobs are scarce. So I couldn't get employment.
Yeah.
And because I couldn't get employment, I also wanted the independence, you know, of I'm not gonna go back home.
Yeah.
So that is when I applied. A friend advised me to say, you are smart, you can apply for the traffic officer post and then, yeah, just try it out. That's when I applied to become a traffic officer. Fortunate enough, I was successful.
Yeah.
I started working there. But as I was working there, I realized that I'm doing this, but I don't feel fulfilled.
Yeah.
You know, I felt that I need to be a civil engineer because that's
Sure.
what I started to
Sure.
be. And fortunate enough, I think 6 years down the line, I got the post as a civil engineer. I worked there for a few months,
Yeah.
but still I had that void within to say, you are where you felt that you needed to be, but still, even when you are here, there's still the void.
Sure.
And that is when COVID hit.
Sure.
When COVID hit, it gave us so much time to reflect
Yeah.
and to sit. And I always used to ask myself that, why was I born?
Yeah.
You know, was I born to just wake up,
Yeah.
go to work, pay my bills, and then is that life? So I felt that there is just something within,
Yeah.
and that led me to search, to read, to listen to sermons.
Sure.
Then that's when I realized that there is purpose. There is a reason why God has allowed me to be where I am. And for me to unleash that full potential,
Yeah.
it is through impacting lives. And with me, it was through detergents.
Sure.
And how I came about with detergents was the fact that it was a traditional heritage. So it's something that my mom used to do.
Sure.
So she made soap. I didn't enjoy it at all
Yeah.
as I was growing up. It was just another boring chore that I had to help because I'm the eldest child. But, you know, I always say that our steps are ordered by God.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
probably that was training. That was training me
Yeah.
to be able to live my purpose through a
Exactly.
skill that I had learned from my mother. And that is how we got here.
I think from what you just said, there's so much that can be learned there. I admire the fact that even though you studied engineering, you did not consider it less than to take up other job opportunities that presented themselves. In a country, in the South Africa that we live in today, we have graduates who feel I will not do nothing less than what I've studied for in school. I will not take the cleaning job. I'll simply not be responsible to pay for my own bills. And the fact that you did not consider that robbery to do something, or rather to get out of your routine or the thing that you're really aiming towards. I think we can actually learn a lot from that. What made you take that decision to say, you know what, I'm fully skilled in this one area, but I will take the detour?
I think for me, it's more of independence. So for me, growing up, maybe it's the firstborn thing.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to be independent,
Sure.
not to depend on my parents for them to do so much for me, because I do have siblings.
Sure.
So I felt that they also need a chance to go to school,
Yeah.
and I had my chance of going to school. And now going back to Venda means that I'm going to be a burden to them.
Yeah.
They have taken me to school. Unfortunately, I'm not getting the employment
Yeah.
in the career path I've chosen. But then there are other alternatives to say, why not try this? Why not do that. And that is what really pushed me to say, I want to be able to stand on my own 2 feet. I don't want to depend on a boy. I don't want to depend on family. I don't want to depend on anyone, but I want to start building. I think that is what really pushed me to say, come what may, I will do it until I get to my destination.
So it's also the drive that I'm hearing. The willingness not to stop until you find that thing. So you kept on pursuing. You finally got your space in the room as an engineer, but then something said to you, this is not it. It cannot be it. Do you think that that's something that's inbuilt in you, that you keep on breaking boundaries and searching for more in life?
I think so. I think in life, when you start to journey on the journey of self-discovery, when you take that path, you realize how much greatness you have. That is when you start to realize that you are living a mediocre kind of life. You have limited yourself, and God wants to use you so mightily. But you can only discover that as you continue to search. You know, I was listening to one podcast, and then the lady said on the podcast, the moment I realized who God was when I discovered who I was. So when you know and you discover Christ for yourself, you discover the might, the power that is able to do exceedingly abundantly. Then you realize that the working environment confines you. It doesn't allow you to really, you know, come out of your shell and be the great person that God has created you to be. Not to say that corporate is not right, but we must be able to be open-minded to say, what is it that God has placed me for? Because God can still use you in the workplace. He can still use you in corporate. But God can use you mightily in the marketplace. So it's just a journey of self-discovery. It's just a journey. And then it's not something that I had planned. But I've always been a very dedicated and focused person. I've always wanted more. That is the reason why even when I was doing as a traffic officer, I had enrolled for my BTech in engineering. So I always felt I don't want to be here, but I'm not a tree. I can change the situation.
Absolutely.
So while going towards the goal, then I must be able to be impacting or to be able to do positively, working towards that goal. Not to sit and whine and complain, but to be able to be ready. When opportunity knocks, then I am ready. So I think it's that drive that you're talking about. But it's very much important to know, and I'm going to emphasize this, that as you go through a journey of self-discovery, that is when you realize the kind of greatness. And it's only when you start to intentionally search for it that you find it. It's
only for those who are actually searching for it. I also like the fact that you said we each have a purpose. How did you come into realization of who you are and your assignment on earth, or rather your purpose on earth?
Okay, like I said, I listened to a lot of podcasts, sermons. Remember last we were sharing about Pastor Miles Monroe? Yes, I listened to so much of his messages, and then I bought books about purpose. And for me, I fully believe that it was the Holy Spirit that led me into Detergents, because I made so much soap during lockdown. I just found so much comfort in that. And like they always say, one thing led to the other. Was the fact that I'm doing soap, right? I'm making soap, and I share my soap with my friends. They love it so much. So why can't I just sell this to them? And after I sold and they loved it, then I realized, so that means this thing, there's something special about this. Why not commercialize it? But with me, it was, we are going big. Or we're going home. You know, I was so intentional about that. I said, my mother made soap. Nobody knew about it. But I'm going to make soap, and the whole world is going to know. But it was through that searching, purpose, but still it was not definite, it was not defined. So through soap making, I then made soap. The demand was huge. I had to get somebody. It was at that very moment when I had an employee. And the very first month, that I paid that guy was when I felt fulfilled. Because
That's
then
the thing
I
with
knew,
purpose.
that's the thing with purpose.
Yes.
Then I realized that
Yeah.
this is what I ought to be doing. I have to make soap to impact someone's life.
Yes.
And when I do it, I sleep well at night, you know. And then that is when you realize that you've got it. Just the mere fact of knowing that I was able to make a difference in someone's life.
Doing something that I personally
love
that
doing.
fulfills me.
You know, I always used to say to my colleagues, like my employees, that I really miss making soap because in the comfort of my home, I would be able to just wake up, go to the garage and mix it up. It just brought so much joy to me, you know. But now that the factory is far from me, then I can't really have that liberty to always make soap. But it is that very moment, that's what changes your life. When you do something you enjoy, it also impacts someone's life positively, and then it gives you surety, gives you peace. Then you know you are living in your purpose. You are not doing what Azu is doing. You're not doing what you saw Tosh doing. You are doing what is inside of you. When you unleash that, and you will feel it, and when it happens you will know it. And you know, like you always say, it's a global thing.
It is.
Even globally you will be recognized because you are living in your purpose. That's what the Bible says when it says your gift will bring you before great things.
It's your gift.
It is your gift.
It's something that you already have. It's not outside of you. It's not with Lufuno. It's not with my mom. It's something that I already carry. And it takes a process. One have to sit with themselves. One has to search it out to actually know and find out for themselves what is that special thing that they carry. That even though everyone is doing it in the space or in the market, I have, when I get to it, I put my special touch, my uniqueness. I also love the fact that you said you learned the skill from your mom. So what I love about that the most is that I was raised by a street vendor. My mother used to sell mabundi at Shandima, and I also did not enjoy it much. It really robbed me of opportunities to play with other kids, to go visit relatives during the holidays, because if I was not at school and it was school holidays, then I will be at the market. But that for me was a training ground. That's when I learned to do business. So that's how I even got to meet with you, because from that experience I knew how to trade. I learned that business is simply about selling. Whether you are in the corporate space selling your skill, your talent, you are still doing business there. It's what you chose and how you chose to do business. So for somebody who is seated at home and they're thinking, you know what, I don't know my kids. I don't know what it is that I have to offer the world. What do you say to that person?
Okay, I'm going to come back to that question. I just want to add to what you said. The journey is necessary. Whatever we go through in life is necessary. I always appreciate it to say our steps are definitely ordered by
the Lord, sure.
You know, and our parents, our moms are vessels that God uses. You know, that's why it's not important to be ashamed of where you come from. Because that is a training ground.
It is.
The skill that you have harnessed or you have learned from your mom, it's something that nobody else can teach you or take away from you.
Exactly.
And it will propel you in the future because God prepares us. You know, He prepares us. I appreciate the fact that I was in the military side of things. I understand respect. I understand honor. I understand discipline. And that is exactly what I understand excellence. And it's exactly what I do in the business. You know, I always laugh because everyone says you are always branded. But it's simply because I've got a uniform background that I understand uniformity is important. So it was important for me to say that everything you go through in life is necessary. It's necessary. Because it's just building blocks to your greatness.
So we need it for where we're going.
We need it.
Even though we might not like it at the moment.
And that is why our journeys are different. So it's necessary for your purpose. And like you asked to say, how do you then find your purpose? You need to search. It's a treasure. It's a hidden treasure.
Yeah.
You know, and treasure is not just lying there. Because once you grab hold of it, then it changes your whole life.
Yeah.
But look at your passions.
Yes.
Look at what excites you. And also look at what you're good at. Sometimes it's your talent.
Yes.
You know, it's that gifting that you have within. Don't try to be somebody else. But find out what is it that I really enjoy.
Yes.
I think one other challenge is the fact that we as human beings, we are so scared of ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, we don't do self-introspection. We don't have a yes and a no chat where you're like, am I good at this? Am I not
Yes
good
or no?
at this?
Yes, and
We
it's
don't do
okay
that.
to be not so good at something,
you know.
and to tick it off as not my thing.
Not my
Let's
thing.
try the other thing.
I always say to my staff that
Yeah.
I don't like staff meetings.
Yeah.
I don't like talking. I don't at all. But with talking, I've realized that it transforms people's
It
lives.
does, it
People love hearing my story. It gives somebody hope. I will do it.
Yes.
But put me behind a laptop. I am at my peak. I am happy.
Yeah.
That is who I am. But sometimes we need to come out of our comfort zone.
Yes.
But more importantly, we need to be honest with ourselves. Just have time to inspect and introspect and check. What is it that makes me happy? Because what makes me happy is not what makes you happy.
Yeah.
And that is very much important. It also brings you to the type of people you associate with.
Yeah.
Look at your circle. Where is this thing taking you?
Yeah.
What are these people teaching you? And if it doesn't benefit you, that means that it's not worth it.
does not serve you.
There is yes.
It does not
So yeah, so when it comes to purpose, unfortunately there is no formulation to say this is how you find it. Because I was also in that state for the longest time. My mom also loves about it sometimes to say, I would ask her, I need to start a business.
Yeah.
But I don't know what type of business. What do you think? So my mom bakes.
Yeah.
She makes clothes. She makes hats.
Oh.
She makes soap. She can do so many things. I'll be like, maybe I should just learn baking. Maybe I should just. But it is only when you come to discover, like I said, Christ, that you
Yes.
discover yourself.
Yeah.
So with me, I know I'm a very passionate person, and I know that I'm a very loving person.
Yeah.
So whatever purpose that God has placed within me, it has to do with people and loving people
Yes.
and wishing the best for people.
Yeah.
That is me. And when that happens, it gives me fulfillment. Business is not easy, it's very hard.
It is.
We
it
go for
is.
months without salaries. But when you pay your employee a salary and you are at peace, for me, that is living my purpose. Yeah. So there is no formulation, but everyone is able to find out that which God has placed within them
Yeah.
and run with it.
And run with it and do business from it.
Yeah.
I was reading the scriptures the other day, and I read about the three men whom Jesus, when he was describing them, in fact, he told it as a story, and he said there were about 3 men. With the 3 men, they were each given talents. Different talents according to their capacity or abilities. To one was given 5 talents, to the other was given 2 talents, and the last one is given 1 talent. And the talent during the time was actually regarded as money. But then it can also be said that talent can be our gifts, our talents as we know it in today's language. And he said to them, to all of them, go and do business with these talents. The 2 went and do business. They produced 100% from that which they were given. Even though one started at 5, they produced 5 more, ended up with 10. To the one who was given 2 talents, he doubled that. And what I like from that scripture is that the master then said to the first 2, well done, my faithful servant. So they each got the same response. I feel like from that story, what we can learn is that I don't have to start at your level. Yeah. Even though what I carry is not at your level, or my talents are not at your scale, I can still do business or trade my gifts at my level and reproduce 100% and become the best in my space. And also from that, I think what we can also learn is that there are also a lot of people who will do like the third man did. He said his response was that I got so scared. And because of fear, I hid the talent. I did not want to give my gift to the people or to the world. And it's actually a reality for a lot of people. A lot of people feel, you know what, I don't have enough. I am not enough. Yes, there's this thing that I do. I'm making my soap in my kitchen, but it's not enough. I can't take it to the market. So I don't have enough funding. How do we motivate that person to start working with what they have?
Okay.
Yeah.
Firstly, when we go back to the story of the talents,
Yeah.
one thing that I also deduced is the fact that God only trusts you with more when you are faithful with little.
Absolutely.
If he has given you one and you double it, he will then give you two.
Yes.
You double it, he will give you three.
More. Yeah.
Yes. So that's how God works. So he doesn't give you according to what you ask. He gives you according to how much you can manage.
Yes.
And when you manage it well, then he increases.
Yeah.
He doubles. And then back to starting where you are.
Yeah.
I think fear was one thing that just held me.
Yeah.
It had me. You know, I remember I started Tosh during lockdown, and then my plan was to launch during August, September.
Yeah.
And August, September, I couldn't launch. I was like, no, this is not the right moment. I want to just have a huge launch party. I want to see bubbles everywhere. You know, I had this fantasy.
Yeah.
And after doing that, I had to then create a website and do this, and I realized, no, man, my launch idea is not going to work. But it's okay. I'm just going to launch it December, because people are just in the fever of spending. It's festive. December came and I was like, no, this is not the correct time. Let me rather start with a year fresh on a clean slate. January came, I'm like, no. You know, I'm actually going to launch it 14th February, Valentine's Day. 14th came. I didn't. And I spoke to a friend of mine, fortunate enough, and also the circle, the people who you surround yourself with. So she was in business. So I said to her, you know, I've been trying to launch Tosh. I'm sitting with crates full of detergents. I've got six of everything. They're sitting in the garage. But I don't really know how to take it to the world. Because somehow I feel like, who am I? What are people going to say?
That's
like, why should they choose Tosh and not the well-known brand? You know? And like, really? We still running that already. Like, no, who's gonna buy? You know, and then you just have so many what ifs.
Exactly, yeah.
So I said to her, I'm so scared. And what if I launch and then they don't buy it? They don't. She was like, you know what? The only way you can find out is if you do it. So she's like, tomorrow wake up, take a picture and post it on WhatsApp. I'm like, sure. I'm like, oh, I didn't have the strength. It was March. So I was like, okay. My mother-in-law's birthday is on the 5th of March. So, you know what? Come high waters or whatever. I'm just going to do it on the 5th. So 5th is a birthday. You know, we are jolly happy. And I just posted it on my WhatsApp. And guess what, Azwi? Within an hour, everything was sold out.
Wow.
So people were like,
So people were waiting on you the entire time.
And people were like, where did you get this? I'm like, I make this. You make them. Give me 3, give me 4, give me 6. You know, we're going to buy simply because you are making them. So everything we desire is beyond our fear. Every good thing you want, it's beyond your fear. So whenever you feel what I've learned right now is that whenever I feel really scared, then that's the time for me to actually do it. And each time I do it, the higher I go. So fear is, you know, they always say it's false evidence that appears real. So it is that. And I think it's also a weapon that the enemy uses. Because you cannot have faith and fear at the same time. So you need to choose your battle. It's either you go for faith or you go for fear.
Yeah.
It's up to you. So there is just no easy way.
Yeah.
You just start where you are.
Yeah.
Use whatever you have, and you know what? Do it excellently. Do it excellently.
Yeah.
We started off with a 25-liter bucket,
Yeah.
a wooden spoon. That's how I started. But now we do have mixers, and we are also believing God for automated machinery in the future. But we are in ShopRite, we are in Checkers, we are in Macro, we are in Pick and Pay, with whatever that we have. Had we waited for government to give us funding, we would still be waiting.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't sound, or it doesn't give much sense for you to say to me, I've got this idea and I want you to inject this much.
Yeah.
It doesn't really give concrete evidence to say you'll make it.
Yeah.
And it's something that we struggle to understand as small businesses, that a concept is just a concept. But people want to see the proof.
Yeah.
They want to see what you have done.
Yeah.
So use whatever that you have. Just start. You know, start small,
Yeah.
but do it excellently. You know, have a vision. People always say to me, you know, you listed so quickly in the retails.
Yeah.
How did you do that? Because they always told me, you will never list on the retail until maybe you are 3 or 4. But I said, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this in a great way.
Yeah.
And then I want to sit comfortably along the multinationals. I want to be comfortable.
Yeah.
I don't want people to come, who's this? No. I want them to be like, oh, wow, nice.
Wow.
Who's this?
Yeah.
You know? So it's also different. Even when you approach it, even when you do whatever that you do, you do it knowing that this is where I want to be, but exactly where I am. So the packaging, the beautiful packaging, the beautiful labeling, it came out from the first 6 batch that we made. It doesn't have to come upon after 25 years. No. Start where you are, use what you have, do it greatly and do it excellently, and God will help you. Yeah, He will.
You know, you're right. Joyce Meyer wrote this book and she tackled it, do it afraid. Even when you feel the fear, do it anyhow. Do it trembling, do it scared, do it. Because like you said, greatness lies on the other side of your fears, and you never really grow to know who you are and what it is that you're capable of doing until you face your fears. So building anything, whether you're building a house, you're building a family, building a business, it's hard. What are some of the setbacks that you faced that made you question whether or not you chose the right path? Like, maybe I should have rather stayed in corporate. Yeah.
I think it's the biggest thing is dealing with rejection.
Yeah.
Because you get a lot of no's.
Yeah.
You know, when you start out, because people don't know you.
Yeah.
Everybody seems to be doing whatever you are doing.
Absolutely.
And then you also do not know the know-hows. Maybe you cannot speak to buyers. You cannot pitch your ideas, or you cannot pitch your products. You know, in that level, they want you to do it in. So the biggest challenge was rejection.
Yeah.
Because after I think I got my first no from ShopRite, I was like, so what am I going to do with this product? Because the dream is to get them on the ShopRite shelves. And now ShopRite is saying no.
It's closing the door.
Then, what then must happen?
Yeah.
Because this is where I want to be. And then you feel like, maybe I just took a wrong decision. Maybe they were right to say, you're just never going to make it there. You know. And until you start to research, you listen to, you listen to people who have done it, blueprints, people who are in business and who are excelling, or even those who have failed. And then you start to see where they did it right and how they got it right. But one other thing that really helped me was looking for an incubator. So an incubator takes care of you.
Okay.
They teach you basically everything. You know, because you come from a corporate space, you do not know what it means or what it takes to build a business. You need to have those grades of being a business person, and it needs mentors, It also needs business advisors, people who are able to hold your hand and direct you to say, this is where you are right now. These are targets that you need to set for yourself. These are goals you need to set for yourself. There must be a timeline. You know, you learn all this SWOT analysis, you know, as to what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, what are the opportunities for your business, what are the threats. So you just start a whole new chapter of learning, of unlearning.
Unlearning too.
Unlearning as well, you know, and then also equipping yourself in the sense that enroll for short courses, business management, entrepreneurship, those things build you up. I think a few weeks back I was thinking maybe I should also join Toastmasters, because they help you in public speaking, you know. So it's a continuous journey of upskilling yourself, learning, unlearning, relearning some of the things that you had just you know, forgotten about. So I think that's the perfect answer.
It is indeed. So being in business as a woman, I take it is not that easy because of all the societal norms and standards and perceptions of people. What are some of the things that you faced with as a woman in the industry? The woman can't, or the doors that were actually shut as a result of you being a woman?
I think the first one is they will always tell you it's a man's world, you know, and then once they realize that it's actually female owned, then they think you are fronting. They will always ask you, is it really yours, or somebody owns it? Why do you think that? You know, I think one incident was when we had to deliver at ShopRite. We had to carry our stock from the basement in, and that guy was like, why do you have to do it yourself? Can't you hire somebody? I'm like, why can't I do it? Why don't I have to do it myself? You know, so it's one of those things that people just look at you automatically. They've got this perception about you as to what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing, and sometimes it's as if it's a bit disrespectful.
It is,
you know. You know, it's almost like that one that you find, oh, you don't look vendor. You know, it's not a compliment. A woman like you shouldn't be carrying boxes. What should I be doing? We are supposed to work. You know, and right now you are able to entrust an employee to go on site because you've been there, you've done that, you understand how it works. You know, so I think that one, the comments, it really irritated me, especially with us in the retail space. There are a lot of men there. You find men when you drop off, you find men when you go in. Sometimes they just look at you funny. You know, so it's always those crazy stares that they give. And the other thing is the other challenge that we face. It's juggling between work, family, it's kids, it's husband, it's employees. There's just so much.
Somebody's sister's daughter at the same time, a friend of somebody.
And everything is demanding of you. So that is where you also lose lots of friendships. I don't think I have friends anymore. You know, they always be like, you are so boring, because you are always busy, and you have to be busy. I mean, for a 3-year-old business, it's a 3-year-old baby. It's still in diapers. You really need to delicately take care of it, and sometimes it means unlearning. Sometimes it means some people must fall off, and it's part of the journey, and it's okay. So I said rejection. This men who just have this crazy comments. It's also losing people along the way. It's so painful. Because you as an entrepreneur have seen where you're going, but the people that are close to you might not even have the same vision or not even buy into the vision. So, and you know, moving away, it's one of the most painful things. That's why they always say entrepreneurship is lonely. It's a lonely journey.
It is.
I think it is because we don't have much people who understand. We don't have most people who have walked the journey and have made it. And those that have made it also, they don't have time to monitor or to also mentor the ones that are still starting out. So those are the challenges, lack of mentorship as well. Although with me, I always say go for incubation. You know, the incubator helped me so much as to how do we make good manufacturing practices, what are the requirements, what is compliance, how you separate yourself from the business, your finances, how you manage them. It's all about learning, and each time you go for a workshop, each time you go for a training, there's something that you learn and you come back and you implement. But above everything, like we said, it's the purpose. So that purpose will drive you, it will push you to do things right. Because one other thing that I feel we fail as small businesses is to manage our business well. We run a one-man show, you know, and it's not easy to give away or to open up your business to total strangers, I could say that, but we need to. It's part of growth. Delegation, it's part of growth. And you know, we don't delegate because we are afraid, and that is fear as well. And sometimes we must be betrayed. We must be hurt. It's part of the process. I think you get used to it. So those are the challenges that you face. But if you are under an incubator, if you've got mentorship, then they will tell you that it's okay. They pat you at the back and then you get up, you keep on moving.
I think also as a leader, or the one who's at the forefront, you also have to develop a certain kind of mindset. There are different conversations that you need to start to have with yourself, so that you can become the trailblazer that you are. What are some of those conversations that you constantly have with yourself?
I think one of the most important conversations I have with myself, it's always you are born for greatness. I think
you
yes,
you do.
Because when I started my journey, I was fortunate enough to have a very supportive partner. And I believe that my husband believed in me more than I believed in myself. Then I had to sit down and think, what is it that he sees in me that I am not able to establish? Then I realized that, you know, as time goes, as you read, you know, it's important to read. It's important to listen to the right stuff. Then I realized that, no, man, there is just so much greatness in me. And that thing changed my life. So I personally have a routine. So I have meditation every morning. With my meditation, I do declarations. I'm the head always, I'm never the tail. I am above only, I'm never beneath. Surely goodness and mercy follows me all the days of my life. The blessing of the Lord comes upon me, it overtakes me. You know, I'm blessed in the city, blessed in the land. He has given me the world for my inheritance. It's what I tell myself constantly. You know, and the more you say it, you believe it, and it is in your subconscious mind. So even whatever happens, though, you know, when you walk in a room, it's like that light illuminates, and then they are able to see that light shines bright. I always laugh at times when you go to a competition or something, I'll be like, Tosh is here.
We're not gonna win this one.
You know, and for me, it encourages me to say, that means there's something right I'm doing. And it's what you say to yourself. Like you're saying that you should constantly remind yourself. You must have those affirmations, because you will, you know, a self-doubt is always there, all the time. At times I even question myself, how does this thing happen? I think my mom was asking me now, when I told her I'm going for the podcast, she's like, how do you even meet these people? So I told her, as long as God is still alive. Because you have to constantly reassure yourself, and you need to find that place. You need to find it. For me, it is affirmations, it's exercise. When I do that, I'm at a state of positivity. And when I do that early in the morning, I've conquered my day. You can say nothing to me that will break me. And it took time for me to realize that, you know what, you need to have time. You need to draw yourself apart. You need to strengthen yourself, like David. You have to strengthen yourself in the Lord.
Encourage
you
yourself.
Don't encourage yourself. You don't wait for us to encourage you, because you're not going to get that congratulations from her. Not all the time. And sometimes it discourages you, it breaks you, because I think the one thing that really hurts us as people is expectations. You feel, if I've achieved this, then Azu must definitely say congratulations. And when she doesn't, then what happens? So it's always it's always encouraging yourself. And if you believe in God, you encourage yourself in the Lord. You strengthen yourself, and you go and look for that place where you are able to refill your cup. Where is that well that I'm able to fill up? If it's in prayer, in a place of prayer, a place of meditation, a place of exercise, you draw up a routine for yourself, you follow it through. And I always say, when you keep the promises that you make to yourself, I'm telling you, Azu, you have the greatest power ever. Yeah. Because you're able to keep promises you make to yourself, for yourself, by yourself. So you can then keep any promise. Yeah. And no one can tell you otherwise.
I actually learned that from you, and recently I started putting in place certain disciplines to say, okay, let me start small. Let me keep time when I go to church. Every single morning, I should be there on time. I thought to myself, you know what, I only have to do this for 4 weeks a month, and I'm so proud of myself because when I do it. When I practice that one discipline in that one area, it's also starting to affect other areas of my life, and I get motivation.
And you are intentional about it, because we need to be intentional as well. I always say to myself, I will go and exercise at 4. Yes. I don't like it, but I'm gonna do it, and I'm not gonna do it because anyone's watching. I'm doing it because after doing it, it makes me feel good. And when I feel good, then I'm able to perform optimally. So because I always say entrepreneurship is problem solving. It is. You solve problems every day of your life. The moment I wake up and open my laptop, it's a problem. Yes. When I open my WhatsApp, it's a problem I need to solve. It's just problems all around. Yes. But if didn't have, or I didn't have a place where I know that I draw my strength, then I was just gonna be a weakling. You know, things were not gonna work out for me. So that is also a journey of self-discovery. It is. You discover your strength. You discover where you get strength, how you get strength, how you encourage yourself. And then once you have that weapon, then you are gone. Because it doesn't matter what comes your way. You know that you've conquered your blankets, and now you can conquer anything.
Speaking of mentorship, and also having people in your life that will come and go, and how it has that some people are seasonal, unfortunately. How did you break into some of the spaces that now Tosh is in? How did you get to be on the shelves? Why were you introduced by somebody? How did it come to be for you?
For me, to be introduced, okay, no one introduced me to the shelves. Unfortunately, you are on your own. I had to learn that the hard way, you know. But follow people's journeys. There's a certain person that I followed. I looked her up, I listened to her interviews, and I just dodged down. I wrote everything, every process in her journey, and that helped me so much because she spoke of incubation, she spoke of mentorship, she spoke about compliance, product readiness programs. You know, I did such things with Gibbs, and to find that it's free courses, you know. So it's just following someone's journey. Find somebody who's in the same industry as you are, or a similar industry. Look at their journey, look at what they did, and follow that. Don't wait for the specific person to come and assist you, because honestly they are busy. You know, they live busy lives. So it's not easy to really say, I'll mentor you or I'll hold your hand. But you can learn a lot from a simple interview. There's so much that you can pick up. So with the retail, because I told you I was already intentional about it, then I approached them to say, this is where I want to go. I told my incubator, prepare me as to what I say when I get there. And one thing that I really took out of it is the fact that when you are rejected, ask them why. That thing helped me, because when I went there, they said, no, you cannot list your products. I'm like, okay, I understand you don't want to list my products, but why? Why is it you don't want to list my products? They said to me, tell us why we should take your product when we already have so much of detergents on the shelf. So that taught me to say, go back to the drawing board and find out what is your unique selling point?
Yes. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
what makes your product different? And that is how you learn.
Yeah.
So with every rejection that you get, it's like a stepping stone. But us can find out why. Why are you saying no?
Yeah.
And from that, take notes, go and rectify it, go back. And then that's how I made it. Because I was rejected. I think with every retail shelf that I'm in, I was rejected once or twice.
Yeah.
You know, and I just kept on going back and I kept on going back.
The reason I asked the question is because a lot of people are actually waiting for a hero, somebody to come and save them. They're waiting for somebody to crack open the doors. But I really love your response in that you will have to do the work.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're gonna have to get somebody mentor you even from a distance. Not so long from now, we will be celebrating Women's Month as a country. Who are some of the special women that have really modeled before you what it is like to be a woman and to be a woman in business?
Okay, I think I will say it's my mom.
Yeah.
Not in the sense that a woman in business, but I just love her resilience. As we grow up, we don't really realize how bold or resilient our parents are.
Yeah, yeah.
But I also feel your mom is also an epitome of boldness. You understand?
Yeah.
To say I'm gonna go and sell my bundu.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go and stand at that corner. And one thing that I really honor about vendors is that you will find them at that spot at that time.
Yes.
That is discipline.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, whether irregardless of how cold it is, the lady who's making magwinya will be there.
Listen.
Whether it's raining, whether it's snowing, that is another level of discipline.
We were selling mabundu in winter seasons, and I was like, Mom, you still want me to wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning during winter? She's like, yes, the people waiting. We're solving a problem. People are hungry. And we are that solution to them. We have to feed those people. And you're absolutely right in that. The discipline is
discipline, you know, that discipline.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you just wake up on a cold morning and you feel I just need magwinya.
Yeah.
Okay, there's magogo in that corner. Yeah. You are gonna find it there without fail. You know, and then right now when I ventured into business, I realized that is some sort of discipline that I can never even explain.
Yeah.
So it made me disciplined in the sense that I said to myself, this is the time I'm gonna wake up at. It doesn't matter whether it's raining, it's snowing, it's winter, or it's if this is the time I've said I'm gonna wake up, every single day I will be up and I will work. And that is a sense of discipline that I feel it encourages you. When you do things that you say you will do, it builds you up. It builds up your confidence. It builds you up. And then before you know it, every door just opens. Because you are at that state where you know that things happen when you do something.
I think we're drawing closer to our conclusion. Recently, Tosh is enjoying all sorts of recognition internationally, even globally. It's been recognized. But recently, you have been a finalist for the Valve Clico Bold Women's Award. What does it mean for you to be recognized as a woman at that level?
Sure. I think I discussed it with you when we started to say, for me, Bold Woman was the best thing that ever happened in my life, because I think it just got me on 80 and then it placed me on steroids.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm now 150. The way I believe so much in myself right now after that recognition. Firstly, it was 4,000 applicants. Out of the 4,000, only 6 were chosen, and in my category it was only 3. So during that process, we had sector specialists. We also had psychologists as part of the jury. So they take you back in your journey and they help you reflect where you've come from. And you know, there were just so many tears that were shed. I said to you, it was tears of joy, it was tears of pain, but above everything, it was the resilience. And just to look back at my journey and to see where I've come from. And I don't think I'm surprised at what happens in my life. I'm not. I'm really honored. I also honor God so much. But above everything, I just love the person that I've become. You know, I've just become I always say to my mom, if you feel you know faith, you don't know faith until you become a business person. You believe God for clients. You believe God for health. You believe God for employees to show up. You believe God for basically everything. So it has really helped me. My faith is just lifted up. As a person, I'm a better person. I think I'm the most disciplined person you ever find. You know, if we commit to do something, I do it. And I always say I don't do it for you. I do it for me. Because when I do something right, I know that it lifts me up. So I'm just so proud of the person that I've become. And I just honor God for everything. And my prayer is that God would continue to use me and my life as a testimony. Because I feel so honored when people text or DM to say, you know, I'm so motivated, I'm so inspired, and now I'm starting my business or I'm doing well, I look up to you. And you realize that it impacts so many lives, you know, just a simple decision of saying, yes, I'm going to do this. So I think that's what really propels me, or that's what it means for me to be noticed globally. It simply means that there is something right that I'm doing.
And we really thank God for your yes. We really do. You are an inspiration to the majority of us. And when we see you go into spaces that we've never seen anybody of our language, from our province, from our villages, venture into, we more than inspired to do that which we are called to do. And so thank you so much for that. Where is Tosh going now? What can we expect? What is next for Tosh?
Oh, Tosh is going to impact townships and rural areas. Our plan is expansion, obviously, especially to the African countries. We want to touch SADC first, export our products. But the one thing that we want to really roll out now, it's the refill stations. We realized that some people are living in marginalized places, you know, they are not as advantaged as we are. So a 750 bottle of Tosh could be expensive. So the project that we're going to roll out now, it's to include everyone. We want everyone to experience Tosh. And how we'll do that is by placing refill stations where people are able to bring their own containers and buy a Tosh. So you don't need to buy a Tosh container, but you will still get the Tosh content.
Speak of innovation.
Yes. So that's where we are headed now. So we are just specifically going to touch and sustain lives, especially in the townships and rural areas.
Lufuno, thank you so much for your time. Thank you. I enjoyed the conversation. I got to glean, to learn from you, to be inspired by your story, which I believe is a story of hope. It's a story of grace. I thought I was the definition of grace until I met you. And I was like, oh, there's grace at a higher level.
And you need to tap into that.
Yeah, that I'm yet to tap into. So thank you for sharing. Thank you for being so transparent with your story. And I really hope that that one person who was standing at the edge and decided whether they start the business, they write the book, whether they learn a new cause, they will now be encouraged to do so. Thank you so much.
It's an honor. Thank you so much, Azri, for having me, and I wish you the very best. May your business grow, your plans succeed, you know, and always put God first.
Thank you.
Thanks.